welcome to Leap Africa's 20th Anniversary Celebratory Webinar. My name is Catherine Busari, and I'll be your host for this beautiful event. It is an exciting time for us here at Leap Africa, but also very reflexive, as we take stock of the work that we've done over the past 20 years, designing and implementing youth development programs across Africa. We urge you, our guests, online and on-site, to join us as we celebrate 20 years of deep work, impact, and legacy. This webinar is the kickoff webinar and the celebratory event as we have a long list of events to bring for you this 20 years. To kick off the events, we have an opening address from our founder, Ndidi Okonkwo-Imuneli, and the chairman of the board of Leap Africa, Mr. Ufot Udeme. this is indeed a landmark occasion, and we're really thankful for 20 years. Thank you so much, Ms. Ndidi, for sharing that with us. If you're just joining us, we just heard from our founder, Mrs. Ndidi Uneli, and she just shared with us and thanked our partners and funders for over 20 years. Next, we're going to hear from our funders and partners over the past 20 years.
Hello everyone, this is Susan Silika, the National Director for CAMFED Malawi. We're happy to celebrate this milestone when Leap Africa has turned 20 this month. We're celebrating this milestone with you. At CAMFED, Leap Africa has been one of our trusted and worthy partners who have worked with us along the way. Leap Africa helped us in so many ways in the transformative leadership program, which aimed at equipping our teacher mentors across our partner schools, about 105 partner schools. They help equip them with knowledge, confidence, and skills required to model leadership, to effectively facilitate the leadership development of the scholars. It has really been a very good journey with the Leap Africa and the impact that we have achieved together, and we hope for a better future together. So happy 20th anniversary on behalf of CAMFED Malawi. Goodbye.
Oh wow, 20 years is a big deal. 20 years of impact, 20 years of transforming lives, 20 years of contributing into the civic space in Nigeria and the development of Africa as a whole. A very big congratulations to you, Leap Africa, from every one of us at Budget Foundation. Wishing you the best of the best as you proceed in the years to come. Grateful to have been part of the journey, grateful for the fruitful collaboration, partnerships that we have had together as organizations. I'm particularly grateful for the opportunity to be a mentor on the Social Innovators Program, which I've seen many Nigerians and African young folks develop and do well in different endeavors of life. We wish you the best in the years to come. Cheers.
CAMFED's vision is of a world in which every child is educated, protected, respected, and valued, and grows up to turn the tide of poverty. CAMFED supports girls and young women to learn, thrive, and lead. Our partnership with Leap Africa began in 2018 through the Transformative Leadership Program. Through this partnership, teacher mentors received training, and there were post-engagements as well, including coaching and mentoring of scholars and give-back projects. On the 20th anniversary of Leap Africa, I, on behalf of CAMFED Ghana, send warm felicitations to Leap Africa for achieving this milestone. We wish Leap Africa well in all its endeavors now and in the future. Congratulations and happy anniversary.
Happy 20th anniversary, Leap Africa. On behalf of myself, the staff and the management of Union Bank of Nigeria, we're wishing you a hearty 20th anniversary. Thank you for the amazing support and partnership we've had over the last almost 1 decade in supporting social innovation and raising up local leaders in communities that are solving real problems in real time. Thank you for the great team that has supported us, your professionalism, and your just absolute, vision and commitment to all to building a great Nigeria. My special congratulations goes to the visionary founder, Ndidi Uneli, who birthed this vision 20 years ago, realizing the need to raise effective, accountable leaders in our communities. And we all know that today, that this vision is very critical and more relevant today in building up Nigeria, the Nigeria that we want to see for the future. So congratulations, Leap. Congratulations, Ndidi. Thank you to the team who has been a wonderful partner over the last almost 1 decade. Congratulations. Cheers for the last 20 years, and here's to the next 20 years.
As Ellen Keller said, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much more. We thank our partners and funders for their selfless contribution over the past 20 years. Without you, we would not have been able to do all the work that we've done for 20 years. Join us now as we share a video telling our story for the past 20 years.
Our vision of Africa is one where our continent's potentials are fully realized through citizens who have cultivated leadership effectiveness, accountability, and professionalism. This is LIP.
In Africa, we're in a very interesting time. We're in a very interesting time in our history, and it's interesting because in every country on the continent, we have more than 20 to 30% of young people constituting part of the entire population. And if this youth bulge is harnessed effectively, or if this youth bulge is seen as capital, right, it has the opportunity to kickstart or jumpstart Africa's, economic narrative.
LIP Africa has been developing leaders motivated to deliver positive change.
I was really inspired by the state of affairs in Africa. My conviction that we needed a new generation of credible, innovative, honest people who had a vision for how to move this continent forward and who would work diligently to inspire others to do that.
LIP Africa has a business leadership program that I participated in about 5 years ago. I founded a company called House of Tara, an indigenous beauty company. And I started up as an undergraduate in the university. At the time I went on the program, I felt that I wanted more. I felt I wanted more for the business. I wanted the business to become sustainable. And going through that program, one of the impacts was I learned that structure is a vehicle for sustainable business, for building a sustainable business. I also came out of the program with a desire and a knowledge for the importance of core values. Every organization needs to have its own core values, what their ethos are, what are the guiding principles of each business. And I sat down and thought it through, and it was part of the exercise of the class. And today I'm building the business, being conscious of who's going to be next in line and who's going to take over from me. So succession planning, structure as a vehicle or platform for sustainable business were two things that I took away from that program.
I was 17 years when I started the Youth Leadership Program with LIP. And there's a particular segment we had during the Youth Leadership Program. And the facilitators said, picture yourself in your funeral ceremony. What will people say about you? That segment lasted for 5 minutes, and that has really inspired me to start up an initiative called Bright Youth Organization. Our mission is to inspire and empower students for a brighter future and to live a disciplined life. And through this initiative, I've been able to inspire young people by way of getting scholarship and helping them get professional jobs and skills.
LIP Africa really changed my life, and I can say that I've really learned a lot. One of the main things I learned is you do not need to be in a position to be a leader. You just need to take charge, be who you are, and stand for what is right, and your followers will come.
Yeah, the Transformative Leadership Program has been an insight, and it has helped me a lot, more especially on issues of self-identity and self-confidence.
Very grateful to LIP Africa for the SIP program. It was very inspiring, and I think what I really enjoyed about it was not so much about the LIP Africa and the great speakers that came to talk to us. It was more about the inspiring stories of fellow change makers around me, 20 of us who were doing amazing things. I mean, I was more inspired to know that I wasn't alone. There were other great Nigerians who were doing wonderful things. So I think the greatest thing that I think I took out of the LIP Africa program is that running an NGO, you shouldn't think about running it as a non-profit. You should think in terms of running it as a for-profit, so that way you can maximize resources and also maximize your, should I say, your growth and also impact?
I'm so excited and I'm very, very grateful for Leap Africa for this social entrepreneurship program, because it's exactly what I needed. When I applied, I kept asking myself, like, do I really need this? But I knew deep down that I was really struggling between my business model and my impact. And what I got is during this period of days, it was exactly what I needed to get. I've been asking a lot of questions. You know, I got everything I needed, and I even get more. And I'm actually looking forward to use it. So I'm really grateful for Leap Africa and for our facilitators.
Starting from this year, we don't want International Youth Day to just be about conversations or convenings. We want it to be about action. Hello world, and welcome to the Youth Day of Service, where young people are being youthful and useful. The whole idea of this is that on our continent we have young people full of energy, full of creativity, and we feel like these numbers, these energies should be channeled towards something positive.
We are inspiring, empowering, and equipping youth and entrepreneurs with information, skills, and tools for transformational leadership that will impact our society. We are broadening the horizon for our youth and positioning them to live productive, successful, and principled lives. Supporting entrepreneurs in creating legacies in business by instituting systems and structures that are crucial for sustainability. We're creating an e-resource center for the development of both youth and business owners across the continent to meet the 21st century socio-economic and technological demands. We are creating a new Africa. We are LIP.
Welcome back. It's always refreshing to hear success stories of persons that have impacted for a number of years. And with me here in the studio, I have alumni from past programs of Leap Africa here to share their success stories with us. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. So introduce yourselves. Let us know what year you were part of Leap Africa and what programs you were part of.
Okay, so my name is Michael Sumba. I am
became part of Leap Africa 2018-2019 cohort SIP program basically. And of course, I'm the founder of Lagos Food Bank Initiative. What we do basically at the food bank is we serve as a frontline agency assisting those struggling with hunger and malnutrition. We also use the integrated food banking system to help curb food waste and also help improve the nutrition of pregnant women and children. And we've done this across 136 communities. So far, we've impacted at least about 2 million people across. And it's actually been a journey. It's been great. And of course, the Leap Africa, it's more like a walk, like the training I got at the beginning kind of welcomed into the development space. And this has become the foundation for the impact we are making today in terms of leadership development and everything we do, basically.
All right. Thank you, Michael, for sharing. Over to you, Abel. Please introduce yourself.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Abel Olashainde. I'm an HR consultant with KPMG, Nigeria. I was part of I lead fellowship program in 2018 and 2019 in Akwa Ibom State, where I was like a mentor and a facilitator for the leadership life skills, entrepreneurship skills, enterprise skills, and employability skills to the cohort of 30 students. And it was really an interesting time in my life. And then it helped me, it gave me like the head start I needed, for my career. So I was teaching the students and I was learning at the same time. So it was just like, an interesting time, and it has added value and it has contributed to what I'm doing currently. Although I'm not in this social space, I'm in private space, but those values have stuck with me, and I'm just grateful for Leap Africa. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Abel.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Shegun is my name. I'm Waterboy co-founder and a product of Youth Leadership Program 2006 actually. So Leap Africa has really impacted greatly in my life. The Change Project was a life changer for me, was an eye-opener for me that one can actually effect changes and make impact, positive impact within the community, and then also scale it. And that's the same thing we're trying to do at Waterboy. We are eradicating single-use plastic, one plastic at a time. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We have a guest online joining us. Please introduce yourself. All right, thank you, Noadia. You have just heard from some of the alumni of our key programs, Social Innovators Program, Youth Leadership Program, and I Lead Program. One thing I loved about your replies was I started to hear the impacts and the highlights of the programs that you're a part of at Leap Africa. So do you want to share with me, how have you started to pay it forward? You were exposed to a lot of skills, a lot of competencies that you have built over the years. How have you started to pay it forward in life now?
So for me, like it's been a journey, like I mentioned. When I started the Lagos Food Bank, it was more like I was totally new to the development space, and I was just running everything with passion. But I knew there was a knowledge gap as to how to scale, how to just make this impact in a more structured way, right? And the training came at the right time when I joined the cohort, and it was my first, more or less, like training in the development space. And so far, one thing that's, stuck with me then was how can we get ourselves prepared, financial readiness for us to be able to, because if you're in the development space or you run a non-profit or a social enterprise, funding is very critical. And how do you attract this funding? How do you get yourself prepared for you to be able to attract funding to carry on your work? And those were, those important things that I learned at that time. And then, of course, whole lot of leadership training, self-awareness, self-leadership. And these are very critical aspects of, leadership and, leading an enterprise that can either make or mar the organization. So they were important, and, and so far so good, of course, leading a team as well. All these things, of course, have helped us to grow. And having to also come back sometimes, have this repertoire of resource knowledge that you can always come back to. I can remember saying, I always chat up Chiamaka, like, Chiamaka, what's happening? Please, I need help with this. I need help with that. And, she just takes me through some of these, challenges I go through and, and all of that. So it's very critical because really we I can say Leap Africa is a blessing to the African continent. It's a blessing to our nation. And I can remember the first international fellowship I got I just got an email in my box. I think it was Chiamaka that sent it. Then, okay, apply for Obama Foundation leadership program. And I applied. And I was selected. That was my first international fellowship program. And, I could just all trace it back to how it all started, where it started from, and how the journey has been. So it's been really great. And if I look back as to where I started from, and where the organization is today, in fact, when I got the email, I said, no, I have to be here to come and say thank you. It's a way of still saying thank you because I can't really thank the platform enough. I can't say I'm busy. Busy for what? It's really important, and that's why I'm just still very much grateful.
Thank you so much, Michael. Yeah. Thank you. It was good to hear the specific things that you pointed out for me. I think for me especially, it was the fact that even after you had left Leap Africa, you could still continue to come back to us and ask us questions, and get ready, get investments ready, and just really explore those opportunities that you had with you. Over to you, Noadia. I want to hear from you. How have you started to pay it forward since the I Lead Fellowship?
I remember when I was taking a fight and then I shared my activities with my students online. My experience
It seems that we might be having some network difficulty with Noadia, but I'll just ask Shego the same question. Shego, what have you started to?
For me, Leap Africa has been a good platform. I'll still revert back to the change project that was an eye-opener, and the most important point being the thinking process. That is instilling that confidence in me to be able to identify problems, societal problem, and solving it at that level. And you seeing it in such a way that if you can solve it at this level, it can be scaled. So the scalability was very, very important for me. And the confidence was something that was in me. I remember my adjectival name, Super Shegun. That also gave me confidence that, look, I can always solve any problem, any societal problem. You don't have to run away from the problem. You just have to tackle it, identify the pain points, and see ways of being a painkiller rather than multivitamin or running away from it or something. So it's the same thing. We're able to identify the gap in the society. Lagos, for example, has deficit with drinking water, and we looked into it. It's an experience for me, and I was able to see that there were other pain users who are experiencing the same. So we're able to expatiate further on it, zoom into the problem, and we came up with solution, and we tested the solution, and right now, by the grace of God, this year we'll be launching and going social as a social enterprise.
Thank you so much, Shegun.
And also for me, Leap Africa, it's a platform I will never forget, so I'll keep paying it forward.
All right, thank you so much for that, Shegun. It's good to hear that you've gone since then to start Water Boys, and you decided to solve problems since you left the Youth Leadership Program. I have a question for you, Abel. What opportunities would you say have opened up for you since you left the ILE Fellowship?
Okay, thank you for that question. I would say when I came across the ILE Fellowship Program in 2018, I was at the point in my life I would call the point A, where I was fresh out of school. I knew I needed something big for myself. I needed to be in the professional space, but which is what I'll call a point B. But there was a gap between that point A and point B. Obviously, you would agree with me that these are like gaps between what the traditional educational system, the gap between the traditional educational system and what potential employers, what they want. And at that point, I was confused, honestly. And then I was on camp in Akwa Ibom State, and I saw the opportunity to volunteer for a lead fellowship program. And I read through the pamphlet, and I saw value in it. I knew at that point I needed to jump on this program. I knew it was going to give me an opportunity to, refine myself. I would call myself crude at that point. I needed a lot of refining, to get to my point B. And when I eventually got on the program, I wasn't wrong about it. For one, the quality of learning, the quality of people I met. As a matter of fact, I met my mentor on the program, Celebratory Richard Banji. He's been my mentor since then up until now, and he's made significant, impact on my career for the past, 3 years. So at that point, we're on several trainings, training of trainers, social sector trainings, learning about businesses, learning about social ventures, learning about entrepreneurship, how to build, businesses from scratch. So I mentioned something earlier. I was able to teach my students, right? And I was able to learn at the same time. So I was learning, I was teaching. And then I was able to share my story with my students. I was like a mentor to them. And these are students that typically would not have access to, a typical core member, because there's a gap between them. These are like students in remote areas, and then they are not very, it's not very easy for them to, have access to core members, right? But because I have like a similar background, I was able to connect with them. I shared my story with them, and it was very easy for me to just leave an impact to them. Alongside other core members, right? So when I came out of the program, I could see that I had the basic, foundational skills that a potential employer would want. And I was able to, when I sat across, the desk with the CEO of my former employer, I was able to convince him that, okay, I have these basic competencies that you can build on, and I can, add value to your organization. And honestly, that has been like the foundation for where I am currently. Although, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not in the social space, I'm in the private, sector, but I feel like the goal is to raise leaders, right? They don't have to be in the social space. Am I adding value to the private sector where I'm at? Of course I am. And, that's what I'm forever grateful for Leap Africa for.
Thank you so much, Abel, for sharing that. I think for me, the most important thing out of that was Leap Africa prepared you to be employable. He gave you a mentor. Yeah, that was very, very interesting. Yeah. And it really shows in your journey now, even though you're working in the private sector, which is very relevant, by the way. It's very relevant because you're contributing. You're a leader in your sector. That's really good to hear. And I think this brings me to my next question. Why do you think it's important for organizations like Leap Africa to continue to get invested in to bring young persons like yourselves out there? I'll go over to Shegun for that.
So I believe, being a product of a platform like Leap Africa is good, but we need more Sheguns out there. So we need more food bank out there. We need more leaders, change agents out there. So the only way to do that is by building a community of good leaders, community of change agents to make that change that we really want, local level, state level, national level, continental level. So that's my belief.
Thank you so much. I'm not sure if Nadia is ready for us, so I can ask her that same question. Why do you think it is important?
Okay, I'll just continue from where Shegun stopped. I think building a community of young change agents is actually very important. You can imagine, I came to contact with Leap Africa in Akwa Ibom State, and I'm here in Northeast Nigeria, and all the skill sets that I've built with Leap, I have brought it with me to Bauchi, and I'm depositing in people around me here. So you see, it's creating sort of a ripple effect, or something similar to the strategy multi-level marketing does. Two people bring two people, and then it keeps expanding, and then impact is being created. So I think it's important because young people are at the backbone of every society. So when we invest in young people, we're investing in the future, because these young people get to invest in their peers, and then it goes on and on.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I think one thing is invest in a young person today and see a ripple effects of change. I think that one stood with me. And I think I have a question for all of us. Where do we see Leap Africa in the next 10 years? Like our founder said earlier, she looks forward to us celebrating 30, celebrating 40, celebrating 50. What do you want Leap Africa to have achieved in our work with young people in the next 10 years? Abel, do you want to take a crack at that?
I would say if Leap Africa could do this, could have done this in 20 years, in its first 20 years, I can only imagine what the next 10 years would be, right? Nadia mentioned something, ripple effects. I feel like that's a very, that's a very strong word, right? Or that's a very strong thing to say, because Leap Africa I believe, is continuously doing these things, and then people are always going out there and then adding more value and adding more value. I feel like the next 10 years is going to be, it's just going to bring Leap Africa closer to its goal of raising African leaders, and then there's hope for Africa, basically, with Leap Africa in action. I think, considering my own story and my own experience, honestly, I think there's hope for Africa. So that's all I'll say.
There is hope for Africa with Leap Africa. You heard it here first. All right, Michael, what things do you want to see Leap Africa take on in the next 10 years?
Okay, so since there is still a huge, gap in terms of leadership, there's still that deficit of leaders. One of the major problems we have in Africa as a continent is the problem of leadership. And the Leap Africa is bridging that gap, raising leaders, developing leaders, giving them this, skill sets and development for them to run an enterprise and social enterprise, basically, and lead as well. So in the next 10 years, of course, I see more being done. I see where a situation, an institute where a whole lot of, leaders, potential leaders will have to pass through, where a validation will be coming from an institute like the Leap Africa, where you have that badge on, and, for you to have passed through such an institution shows that you've passed through the Rubicon of, what it takes to be a leader, to lead an enterprise, to lead a society, to lead a nation. Like I said, it can only just get better. And of course, like Abel said, with Leap Africa, there is hope for Africa.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Michael. I really like that. I like that you want us to zoom in on leadership. And I'm especially excited about the Leadership Institute that you mentioned. We have exciting news coming up. Shegun, I'd like to hear from you.
Okay, so I will hinge on the new slogan, with Leap Africa, there's hope for Africa. And I can only imagine other good leaders or budding entrepreneurs that will come out of me, that will come out of Food Bank, and so many other people as well, so that by the time we are doing 30th anniversary, other people will be telling the story. So it shouldn't be about Leap Africa alone. It should be about other people that have brought other people that have brought other people. So it's going to be us changing the narratives of multi-level marketing and changing the narrative again from, what's it called? It's not a Ponzi scheme. This is change agents out there to make positive impact to the society.
Thank you, Segun. I see us again zooming in on the ripple effects of change. With Leap Africa, we want to create leaders that will also raise leaders. Over to you, Noah, dear. Where do you wish to see Leap Africa in 10 years?
Okay, the next thing is I see Leap Africa we've already I see a community of change agents raising other change agents. This is now beyond what Leap Africa is doing, but it is now getting to what beneficiaries are now doing because of what they have learned from Leap Africa. And I see Leap Africa touching everywhere. I see us touching everywhere. Like when we talk about sustainable development in Africa, I see Leap Africa heading forefront here.
All right, thank you, Noah, dear. That was so good. And I like that we're all on the same, we all have the same mindset right now. We're thinking, creating the ripple effects of change, zooming in on leadership in Africa. And my final question for us is, what would you say to that one young person that has never interacted with Leap Africa on any level? What's the one thing you tell them? We could go around the room starting from Michael.
Okay, so for that young person who hasn't interacted with Leap Africa, I can just say that, of course, look for everything to be a part of Leap Africa. Follow up Leap Africa, join, maybe subscribe to, start from to hear from them. And if you are given the opportunity, of course, I know some aspect of it can be competitive, be a part, and of course, it's a journey of impact all the way through. So basically,
Thank you, Michael. You heard it here first. Sign up to Leap Africa's newsletter. All right, Abel.
Okay, so I'll come from the elite fellowship volunteering program aspect, right? I remember then a lot of my friends were a bit skeptical about the program because they think it's volunteering, won't you stand to gain? Honestly, if you're a young person out there and there's an opportunity to volunteer with Leap Africa, I'd say jump on it. It's like a long-term investment, honestly. And it still goes back to that ripple effect. It will keep, spreading. It's just like opening an onion. It just keeps going and going. Just jump on it. If there's an opportunity to volunteer, jump on it. It's for you're creating value for people, and then you're adding value to yourself as well. So I think that's just what I'll say.
All right. You can tell that Abel works in the financial sector. You say investments, long-term investments. So tip 2, jump on any opportunity to be a part of Leap Africa. Over to you, Segun.
Okay, so my own case, I'm going to say to that young person out there, identify yourself, identify your purpose on earth, and also, like Michael said, sign up and also volunteer in any capacity you can as soon as possible. Don't just sit.
All right, don't just sit at home, be a part, join, volunteer, do something. Noah, dear, over to you.
Okay, I will just say that Leap Africa is a thing every young person should be doing. And along with some benefits, right? You have a lot of skills to get, have a lot of values to do. Most are just 1 year, but then I know what I got from the program. So I'll just like to tell every young person that Leap Africa is where you should be going in any other office rather than Leap Africa.
All right, thank you so much, Noah, dear. You need to be at Leap Africa. You need to join us. Join our programs. We have so many programs for you. Off the top of my head, we have the Youth Leadership Program, the Social Innovators Program, the iLead Fellowship. You want to be a part of Leap Africa. There you have it, people. You've heard from our alumni, our beneficiaries, and one thing seems to stand firm. There's a need to continuously invest in young persons. A need to continuously strengthen youth resolve. And there's also a need for us to awaken, active citizenship in young persons. Thank you so much for joining us. We don't have a story without you. So thank you so much, Noadia. Thank you, Shegun. Thank you, Abel. And thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much.
This was amazing. Thank you for joining us. Are you still with us? Hello to our online guest. We want to hear from you. Share a comment or two in the chat section. We would love to hear your views and all you have to say about Leap Africa. Moving on now, we want to hear from ex-staff of Leap Africa, who we fondly call our ex-Leapers. We have a video from them.
Happy 20th anniversary to Leap Africa. I'm so excited to be celebrating an organization wholly devoted to the transformation of African continent by investing in young people's leadership and nation-building skills and educational development. As a former employee at Leap Africa, I can boldly say that the organization was instrumental in my career growth, personal development, and professional skills. I can't speak of my research endeavors and budding expertise in international community development without referencing this great organization. I am grateful to the senior executives that took a chance on me over a year ago by offering an opportunity to join the Leap family. As a result, I have met colleagues who became friends, big sisters, and people that I greatly admire for their exceptional abilities. So, I join other Leapers, stakeholders, partners, and fans all over Africa in celebrating an organization that keeps giving to Africa's youth leadership development. Have an amazing 20th anniversary. Cheers.
Hello everyone, my name is Ifeanyi and I'm an ex-Leap staff. I worked with Leap Africa from the beginning of 2021 to the end of the year. I joined Leap Africa at a very strategic point in my career. I was looking to transition into the development space, and Leap Africa gave me that foot in the door. Coming into the organization and learning firsthand what they do in the development space was astonishing. Watching them train and curate the future leaders of Africa was an me. I built the right relationships and the right network, and I was able to learn a lot, all due to the fact that I was able to work firsthand as Leap Africa. And this is very peculiar for me because as they celebrate their 20th anniversary, it just reiterates the fact that they've been doing the right thing for the past 2 decades. And this is what they do, and I wish them 20 more years, continue to create the impact that you do, and I wish you all the best.
So we all know how in Nigeria you study a particular subject in college and then you find yourself in a totally different field shortly after you graduate. This was the case with me, but this time it was a fortunate venture for me. Realistically, there were ups and downs, so it is with anyone trying to navigate a new field. I can vividly remember my first task. I was charged with writing an article on volunteering as a major frontier in active citizenship. It was a hassle. It was a real hassle, as my supervisors at the time would not let me half-ass it. This is just to show how Leap Africa is very big on excellence. So Leap Africa has enabled me to imbibe the spirit of excellence in how I approach tasks. Leap Africa has enabled me to become a thoughtful leader. It has helped me in building and developing my communication skills in my professional workplace etiquette. I mean, this can be seen even today as I am constantly reminded of being a great addition to the team in my current workplace. I want to thank the entire management and staff of Leap Africa, who through their work and sacrifices enable people like me to become better. I also want to thank my supervisors, Ms. Ronke and Mrs. Hope, who under their tutelage, they enabled me to learn and perform to the best of my God's-given ability.
Hello everyone, my name is Olusegun Alimi, former programs manager at Leap Africa. And my journey at Leap Africa has been one that was filled with a lot of experiences. I would say it's one where there was a lot of learning and a lot of sharing. It's one where we were working to equip, empower and inspire Africa's heterogeneous youth population to make them impactful to themselves and their world at large. And we did this daily with respect, integrity, synergy and excellence. You know, looking at my career now, I would say Leap Africa has been very instrumental in what I continue to do daily as I work to continue to support and contribute my quota to improving the lives of our youth, making them and helping them to be more productive and contribute immensely to their world as leaders of themselves and leaders of wherever they find themselves. Active leaders, because at Leap we always say leadership is in action and in doing. And on this momentous occasion, celebrating 20 years, I am so excited to wish Leap Africa a big congratulations. It is definitely no small feat, 20 years of generational impact. And I want to pray and wish Leap Africa more generational influence in the coming years as you continue to raise leaders that are transforming and that will continue to transform Africa. All the best and thank you very much.
My name is Dr. Aderonke Folorenshaw and I worked at Leap Africa as the Monitoring, Evaluation, Research and Learning Coordinator. Working at Leap Africa was a career-defining moment for me. The organization impacted me in so many ways. I learned so much. I experienced so much growth. I made friends, and through my work, I was able to make an impact in the lives of people both young and old. I am truly grateful for my time at Leap Africa, and I just want to say happy anniversary. And yeah, continue the excellent work that you're doing. Keep changing lives and keep creating impact. Well done.
What I really love so far about Leap Africa was the fun part of work, right? Despite you work all through the week, you know, there's still that Friday where you come back, you come together as a team, as a family, right? And also have fun. And that experience has really shaped how I do my work. It's good to work, it's good to put in all the energy, put in all the passion, put in all the experience, put in all the strength, but at the end of the day, you must remember to reflect on that work. You must also remember to have fun. So as Leap Africa
celebrates its 20th anniversary today, I really wish Leap Africa a great opportunity to build. I am also excited about the Leap Institute that has really started. I know it's an opportunity to, create great leaders for Nigeria, and I'm so excited. I'm hopeful about the possibilities that are in Leap Africa, and I just wish Leap Africa a fruitful experience from this 20th year anniversary, and many more things to see from Leap Africa.
Welcome back. As you heard from past Leapers, there are so many words to describe what it means to work at Leap Africa. Career-defining, fun, impactful. And this leads me to my next session. We have videos from the humans of Leap Africa, Leapers like we like to call ourselves. And as a proud Leaper, here's a team that makes the dream work.
What it feels like to work in Leap Africa is coming to work every day and seeing superstars in the office. Everybody's a star boy. Everybody is good in their own way, and just working with people that bring their best to the table is everything. Knowing that the next person that you're sitting with is going to do their best, carry their weight, pull their weight is everything. So nobody is coming here and slacking. So working in Leap is working with superstars, and I enjoy it.
It's a very insightful environment, full of young people who are doing and ready to learn, ready to work. It's really a challenging environment. It's like a fast-moving train, and you have to up on the train to catch along with it, right? And also, beyond that, it's just an environment where people just want to strive to become better, to become the best version of themselves. And I can say Leap has contributed greatly to my growth, growing up professionally and personally.
And working at Leap is fun. It is where all of your big ideas come to fruition.
Working at Leap, it's so exciting. You know, like they say, do not talk about your philosophy, embody it. At Leap Africa, we talk so much about our culture, but what's most interesting about us is that everyone at the organization embodies the culture and the values that we hold there, and also the mission and the vision of the organization, how we impact Africa.
It's an amazing feeling, really. I get to work with a lot of talented staff, and the fact that we don't just talk about our core values, we actually embody and reflect these values. So yeah, it's an amazing feeling.
Well done to the team that makes the dream work. Working hours at Leap are really happy hours. Next, we have a session called Running with the Vision. You get to meet our past executive directors over the years.
Good morning, world, and thank you for hanging in there with us. I'm here with colleagues, as you can see. This is going to be a very light, simple, and genuine conversation with friends and former colleagues, as well as my current colleague. In the history of the organization, we've had a few successions and very successful ones, if you ask me to say that. So far, we have 5 people who have gone through this organization. The very first executive director, Mosunlayo Day, who was the ED between 2007 to 2012, and is now the ED of African Philanthropy Forum. And of course, Ngozi Obigwe, the chief operating officer, who served at the same time with her, and she's now the program manager, Africa Policy and Partnerships, New Globe. And since then, we've also had the likes of Iyaduni Olubode, who's here with me today. She was the executive director between 2013 and 2016, and is now the Nigerian director for MSD for Mothers. And of course, I'm joined by my delightful current colleague, Femi Taiwo, the current executive director. We would also have an input from OJ Ivagba, who was the director of programs at the time between 2013 and 2016, who served along with Iyaduni, and is now the deputy director as Ishq Tolaram. Today, so we've had many interesting people who have led with this vision. My work here today is to really talk to you about the segment Running with a Vision. So it's been 20 years, and you both have similar questions I'm going to pose to you. The first one is really a reflective one for us. You know, when you think about the dream for Africa to raise transformative leaders by the founder Ndidi in 2002, you eventually came into this role in 2013. And so I will be asking you, both of you, what does it really mean to run with the vision? It's a 3-part question. What does it mean to run with the vision? And how easy was it for you to key into it and sustain it? So we'll take you first, Iyaduni.
Thank you, Kenny, and it's a pleasure to be here. I want to say congratulations to you and the entire team. I feel very proud and very honored to be part of the Leap Africa story, so we're celebrating with you. Running with the vision. I think before you can run with the vision, you have to write it and make it plain. As the Bible says, I'm a Christian. And I think that one thing that was done very well from the start is we're very clear on what Leap Africa was about. It was about leadership, or it is about leadership, continues to be about leadership, it continues to be about young people, continues to be about, you know, we've done business leadership when I was there, but it was always how do you lead and how do you become a better leader? And it's really speaking to the younger generation and putting them forward and letting them realize that, you know, you don't have to wait to be a leader. You start being a leader as a young person. And if you do lead very well as a young person, your job as an older person is not to lead, but to hand over the baton to the younger generation, which is what has happened in terms of the leadership of Leap Africa. I want to recognize very especially the work of the founder of Leap Africa in being clear on what that vision is. In the NGO space, in the development space, it's very easy to get distracted. And it's very easy to follow the trends. You know, what is being funded currently? What is the flavor of the month? What is it that people are throwing development dollars at? And, you know, sort of tweak your vision or your mission to align with that. But LEAP has been very set in developing leaders, in equipping young people to live better lives, to give back to the society that they've lived in. So having that clearly articulated was one thing. Another thing is every leader will interpret leadership and how to achieve it differently. If you gave myself and Femi an assignment, we would go about it differently. But what is important is setting very clearly what the end goal is. This is what it's about. And I think that is what LEAP has enjoyed, that each person who has walked through the leadership of the organization has had the opportunity to bring their own interpretation of that vision, which has helped to enrich the organization and has brought the organization successfully to where it is. We haven't always gotten it right. We've made mistakes, and that's also an important thing to highlight when we're marking 20 years, because there are people who are working this journey as well. You will make mistakes, but what is most important is learning from those mistakes. The hallmark of any leader, you always feel you can do it better than somebody else. If you don't feel that, then why are you there? When you see somebody executing that, your brain automatically kicks in and says, oh, what's the better way to do that? Or what if we tweaked it this way? Would we have better results? And that's how a leader's mind works. And that's why it's great to bring in new people into an organization from time to time. It's great to have great leadership change. And what is important, like I said earlier, is making it clear what the vision is and ensuring that there's a smooth transition from one leader to another. I was fortunate when I came into LIP. Mosun was the was the past executive director, but I was actually handed over the organization by a lady called Nkem Odewumi of blessed memory. Nkem helped to settle me into the organization. She helped even after she left. I remember I sent her a number of drafts of or shared a lot of thinking with her to say, oh, this is what I'm thinking, and she always cheered me along and said, yes, you're getting it right. Even though Mosun, I didn't deal with her directly, many times in the course of my tenure as executive director, I had cause to call on her, and I always enjoyed great support from them. And I hope I've given you guys great support as well. But it's something that carries on in the tradition. You want to be successful. I want to look back 100 years from now, if I'm still alive, and say, that was the organization that I was executive director. Every time I hear your news, every time I see what you're doing, I'm always very proud, and I'm always very eager to say I was executive director of LEAP Africa. So that desire to support the organization and see the organization grow continues.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You shared many nuggets just by telling us, a bit of your story, how easy it was for you, and a bit of the task that is on the leadership when they inherit such a portfolio. So thank you very much. So if you are just joining us, my name is Kehinde Ayeni. I am the Chief Operating Officer at LEAP Africa. But before I get to you, Femi, just hold your thoughts. I must mention that Iyadeni has over 17 years of experience in private and development sectors in Nigeria. She's a strong advocate for the development of youth and women in Nigeria as key contributors to the economy. And Femi, of course, needs a little introduction. He's responsible for driving the vision of the organization, and is extremely passionate about leadership and enterprise development, and youth-led development. He's on a personal mission of facilitating the transformation of individuals, organizations, and nations. So Femi, what has it been like for you when you think about running with a vision? What does it mean to you? And has there been challenges? What does it mean for you to sustain this vision that was birthed 20 years ago?
All right. Thank you so much, Kenny. Thank you, Iyaduni. I think I should do a throwback to start. I'm a beneficiary of the vision before I started, coming to run with the vision. I attended a program during Mosu's time, and I attended a program during your time. Yeah, so I attended an employability program that during Mosu's tenure, was driven by Asukwo and OJ. I actually came to spy on the organization. So I had started a non-profit organization called HOPE for Covenant University alumni. And of course, everybody knew about this LEAP Africa that was working with young people. And I was like, okay, let me subscribe for one of their programs. Let me come and see what's making this organization tick. What's their curriculum like and all. And I came for this program. I was like, wow, I was blown away. I could not stay for the entire program, but I literally was just absorbing everything, a lot of things, from the setup to the content to the facilitation style and all of that. So that was my first opportunity to interact with LEAP Africa. And fast forward a couple of years later, I joined the SIP program for this organization I had founded. And then I got to meet Iyaduni and meet a couple of the LEAP people who were running that program. So for me, running with the vision, I think I will come from the angle, not to repeat what Iyaduni has said, but just building on that. Many times it's very easy to see the leaders in front and forget the many leaders. One thing LEAP has benefited from, just like Iyaduni said this, and like we typically say right now, we're a team of leaders. So we're a leadership development organization driven by leaders, people leading, whether from the front desk to the operations to the finance team, a team of leaders leading and building. So for me, running with the vision, a big reflection is running with many people, and when I think about the many dispensations of people that we've had, I was reflecting with some of my friends during this weekend, and one of the things we said is that LEAP has done a great job of building leaders in the ecosystem. In fact, I was at an ecosystem event last week, and they were like, you guys have taught all the organizations, all the non-profits in Nigeria, because there's one person from LEAP history that is leading or has led in many, many organizations and are leading in many organizations. So for me, running with a vision is not running as a solopreneur, as an individual, but a team of heroes, holding each other, supporting each other, challenging each other, and enabling each other, right? So that's very crucial and critical for me when I think about running with a vision. And I think another thing that's really, really has been very helpful and that makes it easy for whether an ED or it's the team of leaders to run with the vision is the amount of investment that has gone into the structure and system and governance. One thing we definitely cannot remove from the success story of LEAP are the board members, people who, I remember a new staff joining this year reflecting that you guys have, your board members are too committed, right? We actually have committed board members, very committed board members over the years. And I think that makes it easy for the vision to be sustained. That makes it easy for the vision to be in the midst of the multiple diversity of interpretation and all. That anchor is there, that keeps the organization steady, with our true north, and keeps us steady even in the pursuit of our vision, the way we go about it, the values, that we exemplify in doing what we do. So for me, that's probably my first reflection right now.
Thank you so much, Femi. And that's very important. The people that inherit the vision are quite important as much as those leading it. So the people behind as important to this vision essentially, and I really appreciate the angle you're coming from, employees, board members, the entire community that support that. And so we have a video from OJ Ivagba, who's unable to join us in the studio, but he was generous enough to send in his thoughts, and some of his points also reflect on people as well. So let's take a listen.
My name is OJ Ivagba, and my LEAP journey started in 2006 as an assistant program coordinator and culminated in 2014 as the director of programs appointed by the board. For me, being a part of LEAP was a memorable part of my life, a very, very instrumental part of my life, which has been the beginning of my many successes. Reflecting over the 9-year period I spent at LEAP, working with typically a lean-sized team comprised of very unassuming individuals who were passionate and really, really interested in getting other people to see beyond self, to work together towards the transformation of Nigeria. A journey which was tough for us back then with the limited resources we had, but based on our convictions and the power of the shared vision which the founder had, many of us aligned with that same vision and gave our best, and were able to truly build credible goodwill, both local and international, which continues to, accelerate the impact of LEAP Africa even today, and even to date. Like I said, it was memory jogging, and each of us beyond our days and time at LEAP, we've either moved on to become a force within the social sector, still accelerating change and improving the quality of practice within the sector. LEAP definitely was a memorable part of our journey. LEAP definitely contributed a lot to all of us. And do we still need people like LEAP Africa in Nigeria? Do we still need the organization in Nigeria? Definitely not with the gaps we still see in our society, the challenges we still see in our society. So happy 20th anniversary LEAP, and we hope that Nigeria gets more of LEAP to transition into its full potential. Cheers.
Thank you so much, OJ, for that video. If you didn't know, OJ was also a facilitator of mine. I'm an alum of LEAP Africa. In 2009, I the employability program. So I'm deeply connected to, OJ and the team that trained at the time, and of course working with him closer. But as we bring this conversation to a fantastic close, we'll be looking to the future. And my first question will go back to Iyadune. It's very important for us to even take stock of what the future would look like, and we can't do that in isolation. And so what value does LEAP create, and why is it important for LEAP to continue to exist?
Why is it important for LEAP to continue to exist? Just listening to OJ, LEAP has become the breeding ground, or the growing space for people who want to actually make a change in Nigeria, social development. I remember when I was interested in coming to leave private sector and join the social sector. It wasn't sexy. Nobody thought working in development was interesting. Now you have people who are actually pursuing it as an interest. You have people that are leaving actively, private sector to say, I want to do this. But at the time, it wasn't something that was very popular, not least because, and I'm sure LEAP is paying Femi very well. Not least because, the remuneration is not as much as you can get in private sector with the same set of skills. But there's something that drives someone who works in an organization like LEAP or social development generally. It's not the financial, it's not the pecuniary reward. It's the reward of seeing a change in society, a change in people. And that's what LEAPers and people in the social development space have in common. We want to see a better Nigeria. We want to see young people thrive. And so for as long as you have challenges in Nigeria, you're going to have an organization like LEAP that nurtures people who are ready to take on those challenges, that actually fashions challenges, fashion solutions to those challenges. And even when those challenges are done, there are levels of leadership. You can always be a better leader, Many people think of leadership as positional. When you think of leadership training, you think, well, the boss needs the leadership training. It's the person in charge that leads leadership training. But everybody needs to be a leader. You need to be able to lead yourself to ensure that you get your tasks done. Take ownership of that responsibility that you have and lead it. And so leadership development will always be critical. Developing people who can actually lead in other spheres. I'm working in maternal health now. Mosun is working in philanthropy. A lot of other people are working in other spaces. So there are skills that are transferable within the organization, but there are also skills that we cultivate, and we support other people to cultivate in young people. When LEAP started, LEAP was doing the training itself. But how many people can you reach? And now LEAP has started training other trainers to train other people. Maybe sometime in the future, LEAP's role will not be even training trainers. It will be convening so many other trainers and trying to, bring together, rising above that leadership thing. But, constantly there will be a need to elevate leadership and rise up to the challenges of the time. Whether right now, it's values or whatever, there will always be challenges that we can surmount with leadership. And I think that will continue to be the reason why LEAP is relevant now and in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kenny.
So Femi, also to you, I'll be asking the same question. I mean, our work is to really keep with this vision of raising ethical leaders. And so for you, what would you say, is the reason that LEAP should continue to exist?
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Like Iyadune said, the challenges are still here with us in the country and on the continent. And with those challenges present very unique opportunities and possibilities of what LEAP's role can be and how LEAP can play a part. I mean, one of the things that we've started to step a bit more into is to play a critical role in the ecosystem of youth development. So there are many organizations serving young people and addressing the needs of young people from different points of view. And I think we've done a great job over the last 20 years learning about youth, working with youth, and it's time to start, institutionalizing this knowledge and enabling many other organizations. So I see us, even more importantly, stepping to, build capacity within the ecosystem, resource the ecosystem, address the fragmentation within the ecosystem. And I think maybe the word I can use is we can be a catalyst in the ecosystem. Because just like Indidi said in a speech earlier, welcome speech, that the need for urgency when we think about the challenges facing our country, whether from the leadership lens or the youth development lens, is critical. And no one organization can do it. So we need to actually enable many organizations, help them to become all they can be for the sake of our continent and the sake of our country. And I think that's one critical role that LEAP can play and would play, as we step into this new phase. We're still trying to define what that looks like, So it's an interesting year for us as we're celebrating from now till towards the end of the year. We're also trying to rethink our approach, our pathways to scale, rethink the interpretation of now and of tomorrow, borrowing Iyaduni's word. And I'm sure many people will be a part of that. And we're inviting you, we'll be coming to you, knocking on doors, reaching out to people to help shape what that looks like and what that would be. But I see LEAP, just like we've been stepping into with the UD of service, with our SIP program the last 3-4 years, not just in the country, Nigeria, the possibilities on the continent, LEAP has a crucial role and a critical role to play from the leadership lens and the youth lens. So we have to step more with LEAP institutes in thought leadership and advocacy and ecosystem building. And we have to do it boldly. We have to be very radical. We have to be very innovative. We have to, it's so interesting that as much as we love all that we've done in the last 20 years, we have to forget a lot of things and open up our minds to new things. We have to throw the mold away and basically just be ready to reinvent and rebuild. So that's a challenge to all of us, the LEAPers, the bigger brother LEAP family, the alumni, the board, all of us. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Femi. Bold, radical, innovative, being a catalyst, so much buzzwords you put it in there that we have to remember as we continue this journey. But this is where the panel is going to end. I'm very grateful that you're still there, you're still listening and hanging in there with us. I'll see you soon. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks, Kenny. Well done.
Great job, Femi.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Hello and welcome back. I'm still here. And so we are winding down the event today. Thank you again for spending your morning with us. So the webinar today is one of many events that we have lined up for the year. And I think to the monitor, you'll be able to see some of the events that we have following this one. The next one we have is in June. It's a cocktail and stakeholder event, a private event that we'll be having in Lagos, June 9th. And then in July, we would head over to Abuja for a similar event, a stakeholder event as well. The idea behind this stakeholder event is to really garner support for the vision of Africa that we now have as we are redefining the future. We need a lot of support. It takes a whole community to birth a vision as bold, audacious as this one that we are pursuing. We would like to get your input as we move along in this journey. And then in August as well, we would be having an anniversary lecture. Is the first of its kind in the history of the organization. And so beyond the work that we've done, the impact and the numbers, we want to see behind the problems that are still confronting young people, young Africans in particular. As you now know, in 2017, we were more divergent in our views for Africa. We were stepping out from Nigeria to begin to initiate an old route in African countries, and we want to do more of that. We have a Pan-African vision, just by our name implies, and we need a lot of understanding of what the future holds for young people. What are the bottlenecks? Are there enough opportunities? What kind of opportunities should we be pursuing for young Africans to really fulfill their potential? So the anniversary lecture is going to have a lot of development experts, people in the space who are going to be speaking to this in August, so you can watch out for that. Sign up as soon as you get invitations or information about this event. And in September, our finale event, we'll start off with the SIPA. As you know, we've run the Social Innovators Program and Awards for many, many years. This year is going to be the 10th year we've been running this awards that started first with just recognizing change makers, to now being a fellowship, to now having, prize awards courtesy of our funders and sponsor for many years. And so this year is not very different, but it's a little bit different in the sense that it's a legacy edition of the SIPA. And so we'll be doing a roll call. We'll be inviting and showcasing our alumni, beneficiaries, fellows, entrepreneurs, and many other people who make the SIPA. But beyond that is the gala nights and awards. 20 years, many partners, many supporters, friends and families, funders, donors. The list is endless when you think about the organization and individuals who have given of their time, their energy, their money, their support. It's really a lot of people, and we want to recognize and celebrate that milestone with many people on that particular night. So September 8th at Eco Hotel is where we would be, and we're celebrating and, recognizing all the number of people that have walked the journey with us, and also presenting our idea for the future. And so behind all the work that you see going on between now and September, we will be pushing out our impact reports. We will be pushing out the State of the Youth report as well, and so many exciting things to excite you, our friends, partners, supporters, sponsors, the entire stakeholder chain, ecosystem chain, really, on what it means for us to be here for the next decade in 2 and 3 and 4. And just like Iyaduni was saying, in 100 years, probably we can begin to think that far out where the future of young Africans would be. And so that's the lineup of events that we have following this one, and we invite you on that journey with us. Thank you.
so much for staying with us. We're about to wrap up now, but we have a few things for you. We have one more video for the lovers of LEAP, friends of LEAP Africa. Enjoy.
Shout out to every single person I work with at LEAP Africa, our colleagues, the staff, the ex-staff, everybody, the board members, the management and executive team members. We are doing great. We've come a long way. LEAP is 20 and I'm so excited. Congratulations.
I want to say a big shout out to LEAPers across the world, present and past LEAPers, people we had impacted along the way, and also our board members, our supporters, everyone rooting for us everywhere.
Shout out to all LEAP Africa staff. I wish the organization a greater and better 20 years ahead, greater achievements, and just continuous growth in all areas. Really.
So happy 20th LEAP, happy anniversary.
Happy birthday.
Welcome back, and for the very last time, thank you so much everyone for staying with us. Thanks to our funders, our partners, other beneficiaries, alumni, LEAPers, ex-LEAPers, and all lovers of LEAP Africa. We appreciate you for staying on this journey with us. And like Kenny said earlier, we invite you to continue to go with us on this journey as we celebrate 20 years of impact. Finally, we have a closing remark from our CEO, who will be joining us very shortly. But this is the last time you'll be hearing from me. My name is Catherine Busari, and I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye, everyone.
A pleasant morning to every one of you out there. Thank you from wherever you've logged in from Nigeria, outside Nigeria. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and maybe possibly good night. We've really had a great time here in the studio. My work is really to thank you and thank you and thank you again. You've been a part of our work, our journey, and our story. We are grateful that you've spent this much time with us already, and we are counting on you to spend more time with us. There are many people behind the scenes that have made today possible. First of all, I would like to thank Indi Dibuneli, who's the founder of this vision. She's been a great support. I don't know any founder who has given as Indi did to many of the ideas and initiatives that she's set up and she's running with. We are really grateful for the idea that has become a full-fledged organization that is now 20 years today. And it's really something to watch. I have benefited directly. Every other person in this room has benefited directly, and we are grateful to you again, Ndidi, for staying committed, for running with it, even when it was very tough, because I know from a founder's perspective, there were tough times and it wasn't always easy. The next set of people I want to thank right now are the board members, our current and former board members. You've been a delight to work with. The leadership journey, the leadership mantle has been easy because of you. We are very grateful for your time, support, energy. You are very engaged, and we celebrate that today visibly with the world. We are very thankful for your commitment to this vision as well. We are grateful to have you on board. I want to thank my colleagues, my current colleagues in the organization. Every one of us here have put in a particular commitment to be here in the room to walk this journey and this milestone. And it's really nice to see that we are